going on, everybody? And welcome back to Theodicy Podcast. I'm your host, Word. Today, we're going to discuss one of the most talked about criminal trials in the country right now: the trial of Carmelo Anthony. Some people believe this was a clear case of self-defense. Others believe there were no justifications for taking a life. On day one, jurors had emotional testimonies. They were able to watch police body cam footage, listen Metcalf was stabbed during a high school track meet. Let's break everything down to what really took place to even land us where we're at in my thoughts. And I told y'all I would definitely do that. So before we get into the courtroom, I just want to quickly revisit what happened. So, back in April of 2025, a confrontation occurred during a track meet in Fresco, Texas. According to the prosecutors, Carmelo Anthony stabbed Austin Metcalf after an argument under a team's tent. Now, according to the defense, Anthony acted in self defense after being confronted and physically touched. Now, that disagreement now is at the center of this murder trial. I want to jump in to the state of mind that the prosecutors were able to actually put the jury in. I say this to say because now a verdict is out of Carmelo Anthony being charged and having to serve 35 years. Listen very carefully on how the prosecution came out in regards to this case. For me, the prosecution kept it simple, very clear cut and simple. Carmelo Anthony, according to prosecution, was not in danger and escalated a verbal confrontation into a deadly encounter. This is the prosecution, okay? Prosecutors also told the jurors they will show evidence that Austin Metcalf was unarmed and that Anthony's use of a knife was not justified. Again, prosecution. As we are going to go deep in, you're going to realize the goal is to convince the jurors that what Anthony did was an intentional act and not self defense. Now, let's be realistic here. If someone puts their hands on you during an argument, does that automatically justify as deadly force needs to be put in place? Some would say no, some would say yes, but it's not about that. It's about the reaction. You never know another person's reaction. So even though people will say it wasn't justified for Austin to be stabbed, it wasn't justified as well for Carmelo to be bullied or physically touched. Let's keep it going. I want to jump in to now the defense. And the reason why I'm doing it like this is because the verdict is out, like I said. And I just want to give a brief rundown of everything really quickly and then put my thoughts in. For me, the defense could have did better. So I'm going to jump into the defense's side. According to Anthony's defense attorney, Anthony felt threatened during the confrontation between him and Austin. They argued that the defense argued that events unfolded seconds and that Anthony believed he needed to protect himself. The defense says to the jurors, I would like you guys to put yourselves in Anthony's shoes and consider what he believed at that moment that he felt that he was under attack. My biggest problem, and I had to take a moment of silence because when I tell you from prosecution to the defense and the judge, everybody in cahoots. Okay? Now, I want to ask the public, should self-defense be judged by give a closing to self in the shoes of, Carmelo Anthony? You have no other choice but to protect yourself. And in your thought of being fearful, it could go either way. It could go either way. Happen with, Carmelo. He used something that was on his person in the emotion. Let anybody that's like from 911 calls, you're hearing the forensic, then you're hearing testimonies from the witness. And mind you, all this time, his defense attorney presented nothing. He was illegally lynched, legally, and fought hard defense case on behalf of Carmelo Anthony. So to 911 calls, have emergency responders on the stand describing actually having witnessed me because I don't even the hearing panic and urgency lives. Melted. And he made some he was making wasn't with aggressive nature. It was more or less in fear. Jurors heard and a regardless to the cross examination from the prosecutors, the truth somewhat have the order for you to might have been in self-defense because that was all a part of the plan because they already decided that. And then and the judge with Austin Metcalf's family. They have a long time friendship and history. About the jury, they left one single teacher on the jury pool. Okay, we because I'm telling you the left out are that Carmelo Anthony because he is an animal. He felt unfair. Like I would have argued the faultiness of the school as well. I would have argued the faultiness of the school as well. There were no coaches, the amount of children that come out to do these track tournaments from different have their coaches with them. Each school, whatever school you're coming from, where was the coach or whatever, and let them say, well, they haven't arrived with the 10 wise. So let's let that sink in. Was not going to be whether, and I'm telling you, had track meets where it starts raining once it starts raining and the rain and years old has 5 years for protecting himself. A, a kid with a 4.0 GPA. And you're dealing with kids with back for a moment. Okay? With every decision you make, the consequences and what reaction. Because when a person, if one that was the victim, sat up there and, and they would have made sure that Austin's defense team would have pointed whatever, and then and that's why he used, but it was self-defense life because walk on winning on how it is. He would have been, he would have been wrong either way. And as there's never been justice. That's why to instill in our kids, you don't need to walk up into these courtrooms, then it has a on me using whatever I have to protect myself because survive. I got to try to save my. If you have experience feel like if you was going to go into this speedy trial, because this is what I can see, you should have had everything, witnesses, evidence, people talk when the incident first happened and spoke out. And spoke forward, get to now have to stand before judge household. Those are coming from single parent homes. Let's get that straight. But that was not Carmelo Anthony's case. He was coming from a two family household with two loving parents. And hey, I'm gonna come up in the school or playing obvious how their child. No means we all okay. Let's make that two lives. Across in certain sectors talking about this Carmelo Anthony case. It drives me crazy because it's like this is our problem. Would that it does not this so not knowing or not choosing to want he wasn't posing no threat. The assumption how was that self-defense when you shot him in the back? He was not coming towards you. You shot him in the I'm actually gonna come back and talk. I was actually trying to wait to see if the first lady doing at the moment because speak on this Carmelo Anthony case with more on is like my my phone starts ringing. Y'all know I got my baby, my son may come in. Um, from them coming to the scene and now they're apprehending him, and now the prosecution to truly convince defense. Because again, with Carmelo's, they there and paint the picture to the jurors that telling me as this young man uh, self they played the video and was crying. He was visibly destroyed. A person that has intent, a person that don't, is he gonna be okay? Cry. What? So you telling me as the defense attorney, you not gonna come back? One of the witnesses that was a friend stated he didn't know Carmelo. Opened up something as being emotional and this not feeling safe enough to even say, now I'm going to push back. There's all of these things, and y'all together. And now what I'm seeing, it seems like you guys had a good relationship. Although you guys go to different schools, yeah, let me say, hey, what's up? I mean, that's how I'm coming. That's how I'm. But everything that y'all put out, I got. Hold on. Need to cross examine even the coach. My first run to wherever you were Austin is like, I'm bleeding. The coach is like telling students, it's just like, so as a defense attorney, I'm eating everybody. Carmelo's defense attorney did. When I say I truly believe, why I'm going to say it was already put in place. I'm here. What's presented that you're supposed to prove your self-defense, and the picture that it was shot in one question, and that was it. Hold on, y'all. Sleepy. This whole thing to be. But they weren't in cahoots. And the prosecution is a kid losing his life based on, because Austin Metcalf walked over to come argue with him and then physically assaulted of Carmelo Anthony's brain, because at this point he doesn't know. Twin brother, if this is how I'm breaking everything down, taking my time to break everything down. With on. Let me know if you can hear me. Audio been going in and out. It's been messing up. This is why I like to probably go through my phone. But if y'all hear needs been messing up, going off and on, I'm I feel as though we need to continue to appeals. I do feel like everything was set up. I, I do need Ernie because it's going to be a fight. And the craziest thing about it is it shouldn't even be a fight because of, I said, definitely his attorneys did him no justice. They need to appeal this case are you hearing me, Sleepy? Is my audio good? Because I think my audio is not good. Because I need to upgrade a lot of things. But one day at a time. So oh man. All right. So you know on. Okay, guys. Hopefully, y'all can hear me. Let me know if you guys can hear me because I am back in the building. Can y'all hear me? Hold on. Let me do something else. Okay. This is going to be better. I believe this should be much better. So you guys should be able to hear me now. The craziest thing is that I don't be understanding what's going on with my computer. I can reboot it. I can reboot this Wi-Fi. I don't be understanding what the hell I'm paying for. But yes, guys, we are back in the building. Like I was saying, for those of you that probably the whole entire video probably sounds horrible. But I was just basically giving a recap of what has happened with the verdict of Karmelo Anthony receiving 35 years. And I was just saying that I feel as a content creator and having just a platform like this, and I will also shout out to other content creators that's definitely talking about the story and keeping the story alive, because I do feel that the family is going to need help. And I feel like the more that we keep on discussing this particular situation with this young man is where perhaps he would be able to get some form of justice. Because to be real with you, like, the attorney that they hired needs to definitely give Carmelo Anthony's parents back their money so that they could be able to reinvest back into their child and be able to try to get the word out of needing help with a good lawyer that's going to assist them with an appeal that understands the inner workings of Fresco, Texas. Because I think what people don't understand is, like, in these southern states, it's by counties versus like where we at in New York, like where I'm at, at least. A lot of these counties are divided, like different or whatever have you. But he doesn't deserve 35 years. This is a clear case that, I mean, a blind man can see. Okay? And I'm being funny because that's an oxymoron. But it's so clear cut. That's how real you're gonna have to put it in there like that. That this was self-defense. And like me and Sonia was saying earlier, all they needed to do was put him on the stand. But they already had everything already planned out. And the judge already knew what he was going to do. He already knew what he was going to do. The defense and prosecution, they worked together. And this family, you could say, I'm going to say legally lynched, legally, right in front of our faces. And then I'm going to say to our melanated brothers and sisters, please, some of you, before you speak on certain things and, oh, where is this and where's the mama, go do your research. Don't take things from what you're just hearing, or don't judge based on what you're hearing. Go and actually do the research, because it was some disheartening things that I was hearing from my own people that I was kind of confused. No, we're going to say it again. No, it wasn't justified for Austin Metcalf passing, but it wasn't also justified for him to attack Carmelo. And they both wasn't justified in their actions. Unfortunately, the outcome was one losing their lives in the public's eye. That's what it looks like, but it's not. It's not. It's two 17-year-old boys are lost their lives. I mean, for me, the fight for Carmelo is still there. The fight for Carmelo is still there. The saddening part is understanding how Texas laws work as well. And then understanding the part of Texas you're in. Because you have Houston, you have Dallas, Fresno. And like I said, a lot of these places is broken down into counties. And when they're broken down into counties, 9 times out of 10, it's Commonwealth counties. When you hear Commonwealth, that means they run their show way differently. Another thing that I want to mention, oh my God, when I tell you I get so upset with this, with just this whole case. The jurors. Like for me with the jurors, I don't, realistically, they tell you, oh, you can't read nothing, you can't listen to nothing, you can't talk to family members and all that. We know that's bullshit. We know that's bullshit. We know that y'all heard stuff way prior before. You know what I'm saying? It's just so much of lies that this world that we live in, we live in lies. We are living in the pot of lies, okay? In this America. And everything is so corrupted that I wish my people will see certain things so we could get better. Because what we going into, what our children is about to go get, like literally walk into, is different. Know that. Like I said prior before, Asian guy just got off of self-defense for killing a melanated kid. And I'm using the word melanated. You're going to hear me use the word melanated because guess what? Even the way we speak of ourselves and say certain things, I ain't black. I have never met nobody black that's like black in the crayon box. Like, black that you see, that's black. Crayon. I don't. Even my fan that I'm looking at right now is like, that's black. I have not seen nobody that complexion. Okay? And black is considered dead, not dead. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of things that, for me, about to start changing up. So you'll hear me use the word melanated because that is how we should definitely be defining who we are. Melanated beings. This kid goes into the store, walks out the store. The assumption is that this kid stole water. Listen, and when I say this, water. That's the assumption. The kid stole water. The Asian guy and his son now is going after this kid, and this kid is running. They're running after him. This kid gets, Asian guy pulls out his weapon, shoots this melanated kid in the back. As you know, police arrive on the scene. Whatever they do to search, they find a weapon on this melanated kid. Not one time, even when he entered the man's store, did he brandish his weapon. Not even when he exited out did he brandish his weapon. So the Asian owner and his son couldn't say they felt threatened because they didn't even know he had a gun on him. Okay? Now, this Asian store owner gets off with self-defense. How the hell do you get off with self-defense and you shot him in the back? Like, he wasn't even coming towards you to try to attack you or nothing. He was shot in the back. Let's make it make sense. Now, you have a case of Karmelo Anthony, a melanated kid, being bullied and in fear of his life, and probably used whatever that he had just to protect himself, not within the intent to Urder Austin Metcalf, not in the attempt to do any kind of deadly harm. Unfortunately, in the midst of emotions and all types of feelings going through, he happened to unalive this kid in self-defense because he was in fear for his life. He was being attacked. But you got this Asian man that literally shot this melanated kid in the back, and he got self-defense. Can we make it make sense? Can we make it make sense, my people? Like, what? And then, like I'm going to say, we have some ignorant melanated brothers and sisters. And I use that word because for those, I'm not calling you stupid, I'm not calling you dumb. An ignorant person means a person that does not know any better. That's what an ignorant person means. And I was hearing certain things and I'm saying to myself, like, okay, you can't be serious. How are you going to sit there and say, oh, well, he still got to do the time. He should have knew better not to bring a weapon on school premises and all that stuff. And okay, we can go through the logistics of what Karmelo wasn't supposed to do. But how much shit that this other kid wasn't supposed to do? Was this other kid supposed to take it upon himself to want to tell another kid where they can sit, where they could go, where they could be, and then physically attack him? Make that make sense. What are we really talking about here? What I'm saying, and what I will continue to say, no, it's very disheartening that Austin Metcalf lost his life. And for me, it has nothing to do with color. So forget about what color, it doesn't matter. It's the point that he lost his life. So that is disheartening because you don't want you don't want no parent to bury their kid. But where does the empathy come in for Karmelo and him losing his life as well? For being afraid, for survival kicking in to protect himself. And again, not with the intent to kill, but with the intent to survive from being afraid. That deserves 35 years. Well, guess what? We need to go and really start pouring, because the government itself, the amount of bodies the government has, what we talking about? Let's get into it. 35 years, them niggas that's sitting up in the White Houses and all sitting up in Congress and all these places, they need to be lynched. Because they out here sleeping with babies, killing babies, trafficking babies. What? But he gets 35 years for being afraid, for the only emotional thought that would kick in for any human being is to protect yourself, go into survival mode, because you don't know the intent of someone else. So the only thought in your mind is, I gotta make it out of here safe. I wanna live. We could paint the picture of Austin Metcalf's twin. How Karmelo, how Karmelo is supposed to feel or know, like, that's his brother. Like, if he's attacking me, his brother might just jump in and attack me too. How y'all don't, like, for me, like, the things that get me with this whole situation, and even with the things that are coming out of some people's mouths that's talking about the situation, is just, like I said, it's very bothersome. It's very bothersome, because I'm a mother of 4 and I have 3 boys, and I would never want my boys to harm anybody. But I'm never ever going to tell my boys, if you're feeling in danger, to protect yourself. Like, you have to survive. I'm not going to tell you to let somebody kill you. So all this other shit that people want to bring up about having a knife on the premises, this, that, and the third, okay. Right now, we got kids carrying GUNs to school, because YouTube is very particular about what you say, in their book bags, blades in their mouth. This is the society we live in. So I'm sure Karmelo, I would be scared too. We talking about Columbine shootings. What we talk, like, what? And you're telling me I shouldn't be in fear? We ain't walking up in schools committing mass murders out here, writing manifestos, but you'll call those kids, they crazy, they got issues, they needed help. Or you guys got so much for that. And now this kid, that's a good kid, that came from a good upbringing, that came out of a good home, that mother and father worked hard to provide for their children to be able to have a good living, to chase after their dreams, that now they have to look at their baby that they know ain't what other people are painting him out to be, or what was put out, and then have to deal with the unjust in a community of people that know your child, that know your family, that now they don't know you. Like, please. Like, come on, y'all. We got to get it together. We really, really got to get it together. I'm going to kind of continue to bring updates as it goes along. But my wish for Karmelo is them being able to appeal this case, whole new attorneys, because this kid definitely needs justice. This kid is holding a 4.0 GPA. He worked very hard to get to where he got to. He was not able to walk down and get his diploma the way he should have been able to, based on the actions of another individual that caused his reaction. So the picture of him being this aggressive, melanated 17-year-old boy, it's a lie. Okay? And please, let's stop painting the picture that all of our children are coming from dysfunctional homes with no love in it, and they're aggressive, and that's all they are. Aggressive. They're always aggressive. They're always starting. Just like they label us melanated women as angry black women. And I don't think that we are angry black women. We may be angry melanated women because we're sick and tired of being sick and tired of seeing the same goddamn outcomes happening. But what I do know, God works in mysterious ways, and he always has the last say. And I can definitely get the energy that his parents are spiritual people. So God will guide them into what they need to do and preparations in order to have their baby back in their arms. And I am putting that out there with pure love, because I definitely would want people to do that for me if I was in their shoes. It's things that you hear your parents say a lot. I don't want to bury my kids. We don't want to bury our kids in no form, not physical, and damn sure not behind no goddamn bars. We don't. And we have continuously, in every which way you name it. And when I say that whether Karmelo Anthony was the victim, okay, or whether Karmelo Anthony was the aggressor, either which way, you all still would have said he was guilty. And for those who may not understand what I'm saying when I say that, because guess what? If Karmelo Anthony was the victim and was the one to be unalived, it would have been said that he was a bully and he was aggressive, and Austin Metcalf feared for his life. And Austin Metcalf felt like he had no other choice because he was so scared and in fear. And that's what led to him pulling out what he didn't realize was a knife and stabbing Karmelo. And that's how Karmelo is now unalived. But Karmelo would have never been unalived had he didn't attack Austin Metcalf. Karmelo would still be alive if he didn't attack Austin Metcalf. Now, Austin Metcalf is the one that's the victim that was unalived. Karmelo Anthony is still alive, and he's still the aggressor. You see? He's still the aggressor. They period, point blank, in a nutshell. Exactly. And hiding a whole bunch of evidence. But that's what I was saying. The judge is best friends with the father. And at a point, guess what? The defense attorney should have said, I don't think this is the best look for my client, and I want to go into chambers to discuss this judge being recused and another judge coming in to deliberate over this case. Even the picking of the jury went down funny. Okay? But like I said, I told y'all I would have been back to give y'all a breakdown. I apologize for the beginning of the video. So if you're coming in the beginning of the video, I'm going to try and go in and probably try to edit some things. But if you're coming in the beginning of the video, it's probably all messed up. You probably can't hear anything. But, however, if you stay through the whole thing, you'll be able to get a recap of what was being talked about today. I want to thank you guys for your love and support. You guys know I love you guys so much. I have the most beautiful moderators. I have the most wonderful subscribers. And like I told y'all, one day at a time. I will definitely be back in the building. I could have did better. Listen, Sonia, I know you could have did a better defense for him, because based on what I read, I'm like, are you serious? So you mean to tell me you didn't cross-examine nobody? The defense didn't cross-examine nobody, because I would not have called what they did in that courtroom a cross-examination. And like I said, it was just too much things that could have been bounced right back towards the prosecution in regards to what they were saying. And the number one thing for me, to put everything in closing, before closing arguments, I would have had Karmelo Anthony on that stand, asking him questions in regards to that day. So that, because he's the only one that can tell you what he felt in that moment that led him to feel that he needed to protect himself. He's the only one. Nobody else. That is why that piece of shit attorney needs to give the money back, because they knew what they were doing. They plain out knew what they were doing. And that's why I'm even more mad, because like I said, this case with this Asian guy shooting this kid. Are you kidding me? And he walks away with self-defense and he shoots this kid in the back. Come on. Listen, this is what I get. For me, I'm passionate about stories that are like this, because when I tell you, you don't want it to hit close to home. And it shouldn't have to wait to hit close to home for us to really talk about it, for us to put it out there, for possibly it to hit someone else's ear, to say, okay, who is this kid? All right, let's reach out to the mother. Maybe we can help. You know what I mean? Like, these are the important cases that need to be talked about, need to be heard. Period. You know? Not swept under the rug. I could talk about, other things all day long, but these are the things that really drive me, because like I said, I'm a mother of 3 boys. I can't imagine my child defending himself and you're telling me that my child is going to get 35 years, or telling me my child will get 25 years to life. I talk to somebody that has 22 years to life. Like, you understand what I'm saying? I talk to people that are doing time. And it's disheartening, because you understand that half of them that's in there, they don't have no support, or their families don't have the financial ability to pay for a paid lawyer to fight the case. Because what a lot of people don't understand with a paid lawyer, when you have a paid lawyer, the judge, the prosecution, and that lawyer, DA, everybody's getting paid off. That's why your money got to be in a certain bracket. Because once your money's in a certain bracket, you wonder how they're getting off. Everybody's being paid off. When you see a person get off on some crazy charges, everybody's being paid off. Now, we ain't going to talk about the government officials because, as you know, anything with the government, they'll just lie to you and tell you, oh, yeah, he hung himself. Like the Epstein. Epstein hung himself. Really? You expect us to believe that? Really? In, like, listen, we know what we know, but that's the shit they giving us. Really? It was designed this way. That's just my thoughts, and I will go into that on another timing. And to be real with you, the first lady OG is the best one to probably go even more in depth with certain things in regards to a lot of what we have been presented with. You know me, I'm surfaced with a lot of things because I'm mindful, especially out here and what you say in YouTube world. Yes, the threat was gone when he started running. I heard, yes, it was. It was gone. And the saddest thing about it is it's water. So you chase them for water? Water. Water that is supposed to be free in America. Water. Water is not water. Like, you really chase them for water. Government has something to do with those missing kids. Scientists, 17 of them. Yes, they do. Because listen, it's a lot of heavy. Okay, it's so funny, right? Because I was telling somebody recently, I said, for those people that indulge themselves in watching these porn websites, yeah, you have paid porn stars. You have paid female porn stars. But then it's another part of the porn sites that these girls, you're telling me you're getting, and that's how you know people sick, because you're telling me you're going to get turned on by these girls that look like babies. They look like 12, 13, 14 on these websites. And you're telling me they're there willingly? You could just look at the expression on the faces of these young girls. And we're not going to talk about the majority that don't make it out alive. You want to cut them up, take their organs, and then sell it to the black markets. We ain't going to go deep on why they need our blood, because we carry something a lot of cultures don't have. So that's what I'm saying. It's so crazy. We've been living in a lie. We've been living in a lie that has sucked the shit out of us, like sucked us dry. And all we are at the present moment are hamsters on a wheel that just keep going round and round and round and round. Okay? And the only time we're going to get off the fucking wheel is until we jump off that shit. Like, we got to figure out how to just like escape going around, around, and around, because we already know that's the cycle. That's why they have us where they have us at. Like, please. Like, it's dreadful. It's nasty. But I just have faith. I just have faith on a whole different level for self. You know what I mean? Um, because what's yet to come is going to be a lot to bear. So we looking at it right now as it's a lot to bear. What's yet to come is a lot to bear. You know what I'm saying? And in the midst, it'll be good and bad. At least that's what my perception of how I'm looking at this lifetime that we're in. You know what I mean? But yeah, guys, I appreciate you guys so much for joining me. Like I said, I hope you guys that do come in go back and watch until the ending or scroll to where you can hear me better. I'm gonna try my best to be in a better area because I swear I don't know. I'm always switching up areas to get good service. It just still never works. I'm starting to think it's just maybe my area that I'm in, or just maybe my devices per se. But with time, everything is going to come and I will have new equipment and things will get better. And that's what I look forward to. So until then, y'all gonna have to bear with my chopped up content. Okay. Um, but for now, I think I'm gonna try to mostly do content on the phone because it seems like doing content on the phone is a little bit better for me as of right now, and you guys can hear me better versus when I'm on my laptop, and I don't know why. I am stepping away. Yes, sleepy. I am leaving. Um, Zuri's getting ready to come home, and I got to prepare for her to come home because as soon as she walks to the door, she's going to definitely want something to eat. So I definitely am going to make sure she has something to eat and then bathe her. And we have some Z's that we have to write. You know how that goes. Got to teach her how to write her name. So, yep. And later on, I have to go to work. So, yeah, I'm mentally preparing for that also. But I will be back in the building. You guys already know the vibes. I will be back in the building, okay? As soon as possible. I ain't going to say tomorrow, the day after. I'm going to just say I'll be back in the building as soon as possible. So just stay subscribed. Hit the up like button, please. So I'm in the algorithm. Please, guys, just hit the up like button on your way out, on your way in. I appreciate that. And notification bell so every time that I do go live, you guys can be in the building. And again, to my beautiful, beautiful moderators, I cannot do this without you guys. You guys are inspirational to me. Like I said to you guys earlier, it just means a whole lot. Like, words can't even describe how I feel when I see Sonia, I see Sleepy, and I see all my other beautiful moderators and just my subscribers and the support that you guys give me. Just know that you guys are definitely always appreciated. You are my family, and I love you guys. Peace, love, and light from our family over here on my end to your family. This is Theodicy Podcast. I am your host, Word, and we'll be back in the building. But until then, stay safe. And like I said, peace, love, and light. Bye.